Who knew that Baron Strucker and Wolverine had such an extensive history? Like, these two have animosity for each other that I just never knew existed. Support the comic book industry by visiting your local LCS. My name is Doran. This is SEM Comics. We continue our coverage of Weapon X-Men. Number 3. Our story starts off somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, where you have Cable, Thunderbird, and Chamber are making their way through Hydra City, even though they don't know it's Hydra City. You have Baron Von Strucker, who is monologuing. You got Deadpool, who's being jumped by his modified Wolverines that Baron Von Strucker made. And Wolverine is out of his stasis pod, I guess you could say. And now he wants a piece of Baron Von Strucker. And even though Deadpool's fighting these Wolverine robots that are made from aluminium, he still has time to fill us in on exactly what happened in the last 2 issues. He was asked to do a job by an anonymous person. I guess the amount was pretty substantial, but he also felt like there might have been something shady about it. But the only way he could find out who the person is was to do the job. The job was to kidnap Wolverine and bring him to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, which he did. Then he finds out it's Baron Von Strucker. So now he goes and he's helping Wolverine to escape because he doesn't want to be beholden to Baron Von Strucker. Oh, and his left arm got cut off, so right now he's fighting with one arm. And Wolverine is doing what Wolverine does, which is hack and slash. And Baron Von Strucker is doing what he does best, monologuing. So then we cut back to Cable, Chambers, and Thunderbird, and they're making their way through Hydra City, which they still don't know it's Hydra City. And they come across this room, and there's this old guy in like this hyperbolic chamber. And they're like, man, this dude is really old. Like, he might be triple digits old. And they're like, well, who is it? And they're like, we don't know. So Cable has to do a deep dive into his mind to find out exactly who this person is. He finds out that this is the original Baron Von Strucker, and that his mind is being transferred somewhere else. Now, even though these things look like Wolverine, they have aluminium and they have claws like Wolverine, they are not Wolverine. And Wolverine is handling these things. So again, he turns his attention to Baron Von Strucker. And Strucker busts out the Satan claws, which I guess he fought Wolverine with these before. But these ones, in particular, are made out of aluminium. So Wolverine and Strucker are going at it. Deadpool is still badly outnumbered, and he still only has one arm. But then all of a sudden, his friends come to help him. That's right, Weapon X-Men, Cable, Thunderbird, and Chambers are there to help. And while that's going on, Wolverine is caught with a side uppercut. I mean, he caught him flush. So Cable's trying to come up with a quick battle strategy, and Thunderbird just goes rushing in towards those robotic Wolverines. And he's like, just in case you forgot, I'm still in a bad mood, as he tackles the hell out of these things. And like I said, they're made out of aluminium and they got Wolverine's claws, so that might not have been the best idea. So Chambers goes to Cable's like, what do we do? And Cable's like, help him out the best way we can, I guess. And Wolverine is still dealing with Baron Von Strucker. He pays him back for that uppercut by doing a hip toss and slamming him on his head. And Chambers and Cable are doing the best they can to help out Thunderbird. You know, Chambers is like, I don't know if he even needs any help because he is handling these things, even though they are getting their hits in on him. But he's sitting there like crushing one's face with his hands. Like, I don't know if the whole body's made out of aluminium. Even if it's not, it is metal, and that is hard to do. Anyway, Thunderbird is handling himself, even though they're getting their hits in too. Deadpool gets some revenge on Baron Von Strucker by cutting off his arm, and then Wolverine goes and bumps the hell out of him and was like, you stay out of my business, bub. And Deadpool's like, I'm just trying to help out, you know, especially because I got you into this mess. And Wolverine's pretty much like, I ain't gonna tell you twice. So Wolverine gets a really good shot on Baron Von Strucker, and then all this oil starts flying everywhere, and we see that he is a life model decoy. And that's when he lets everybody know that his real body is in the lower levels, practically on death's door, and that he is uploading his consciousness into these fake ass Wolverines. So once Wolverine finds that out, he really doesn't hold back, and he tears right into Baron von Strucker. So Baron von Strucker is sitting there bleeding out, dying. Can a robot bleed out and die? I mean, I guess so. Anyway, he's like, you don't understand. You just did me a favor. Now, the last of my consciousness that's in this LMD is going to go to my new bodies, which are these WMDs, the Wolverines of Mass Destruction, which is still cheesy as hell. And since it's a hive mind, I will be unstoppable. So NK was like, all right, we need to stop him from making more of these things. So we need to figure out where he's keeping this adamantium at, and we need to cool it down so he can't use it anymore. So Wolverine's like, all right, sounds like a job for Deadpool. And Deadpool's like, really? Me? So then Deadpool finds the vat, and he finds a machine that's keeping the adamantium at a 1500 degrees. And he's like, well, I guess I better destroy this thing. Sticks his katana into the thing. It blows up and blows up Deadpool too. Wolverine's like, well, that takes care of that, which Wolverine probably could have did that himself, but why should he have to heal up? Besides, Deadpool has a better healing factor. So then Cable was like, all right, Chambers, you're up next. I need you to use your powers to knock that thing over, which is the vat adamantium, which he does. And where's it fall? Right on top of the WMDs. So now they go the way of the death of Wolverine, encased in adamantium forever. Even though I guess he got out, so why can't they? Because they're not a main character. That's why. So Wolverine's like, man, I hope we got them all, because I don't never want to deal with Baron von Strucker ever again. And then Deadpool comes carrying Thunderbird. He's like, as I was getting blown up, I saw Thunderbird. He was in pretty bad shape, so I decided to grab him before the adamantium covered his ass up, and he'd have been in worse shape. So as the island's blowing up, luckily, Baron von Strucker was very prepared, and he had his escape plane ready. So Deadpool's wondering how Cable found out exactly where they were at, and he's like, what, you put a tracking device on Wolverine? And Cable's like, no, actually, it was you, Deadpool. And it reminds him back when they both dealt with the One World Church, and they were both infected with the facade virus, which did a number on both of them. Well, they was able to come up with a cure by mixing Deadpool's blood with Cable's techno-organic virus that he had in him, which was able, I guess, to heal both of them, and I guess heal whoever else was infected. Well, ever since then, there's been a little piece of Cable inside the Deadpool this whole time, which made it easy for him to track him down. And Deadpool's like, you know what, that kind of makes sense. I haven't taken a solid poop in forever. Now, I gotta ask you guys a question. Who remembers, like, in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Cable Deadpool comic books? Now, I didn't read a lot of them, but I remember reading some of them. And I remember when Deadpool was interacting with Cable, he wasn't breaking, like, the fourth wall or anything like that. Like, he said some off-the-wall stuff, you know, he was pretty crazy, but he wasn't doing that. And mostly he was a bad guy. Like, he was a bad guy. So I remember getting back in the comic books, I'm like, so now Deadpool's a good guy now? Because I was shocked, because like I said, last time I read, he was a bad guy. He was just always messing with Cable. Anyway, just let me know in the comments if you guys remember reading that run. Was he breaking the fourth wall back then? Because I don't remember him breaking the fourth wall, but I could be misremembering too. So as we're flying off, we see that one WMDs, Wolverine and Mass Destruction, so cheesy, they survive. So Red Skull's dead, Zemo's dead, but Baron von Strucker, that's one Nazi that's still kicking. Innocence. So now we cut to New Orleans, and Wolverine is filling Rogan on exactly what happened. Because technically, he's still on the Uncanny X-Men, but I guess he's doing this on the side. Plus, he's also doing what he's doing, Wolverine stuff on the side. And it's just hard to keep up with this dude. Anyway, he thinks that this team is actually worth keeping around. You know, a mutant team that deals with non-mutant issues. So she's like, yeah, you know, it actually might be good. I mean, we can't have too many X teams. So what you want to call yourself? X-Force? So as I'm reading this, I'm thinking to myself, like, that's too soon. It's too soon. So he whispered to her, and he's like, Weapon X-Men. And Deadpool's like, that's what I'm talking about. I heard you say it. Weapon X-Men. Woo! I'm gonna get the merch ready, and we're gonna get this party started. Man, he grabs Deadpool's like, didn't I tell you not to follow me? Didn't I tell you to keep your mouth shut? He's like, Rogue, darling, I gotta go, because I gotta deal with this fool. As the issue ends.